Good morning, all you cats and kittens. I'm just kidding, guys. Good morning, everybody. Let's see who's all in here. I'm just drinking my coffee. I did not bring my milk in for my cappuccino, so I just got my coffee with a little bit of chocolate in there. So good morning, Fish and Tantics, for being the first person in here. Good morning, Monster Fish Gal. Lori, how you doing? She put up all my awesome links. Here's my group page right here. Gotta love that one. Thank you. Here's the Instagram account. And here is my TikTok account. Here's my Discord account. Here, of course, is my joesshrimpshack website. She's got them all. She's on top of everything. Look at this. For the Fish 2 Mafia t-shirt, which we'll be doing our show at Aquafest in Louisiana, April 15th and 16th. I know I got glasses on, guys. I get it. It's kind of got a little bit of glare, but it is what it is. I do have a different light. I can put a different light up here, but this is going to have to do for now. So let's see what else. Big Shrimpin', a.k.a. Steve C. Good morning. What's up, Jay Oliver? Jay Oliver, I saw your one post. You're like really killing it with the guppies and everything else. I love it, dude. I love seeing the post with local hobbyists that started a business and they're killing it with the shipments and everything else. Love it. Where's the OnlyFans link? Dude, I don't even like, I would never even do it. Okay, so if anybody knows me, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. So, and I'm not into feet, guys. 100% I'm not into feet. I'll tell you that right now. Hey, Eric. Yeah, that's cool. You just ordered guppies from John. Yeah, John Oliver is like, he's on top of his guppies and stuff. I know he's got a certain way to go over and transition them or quarantine them or whatever else. Dude, I really appreciate you too. He's got a certain little way of doing stuff, and I love the fact that he does that. And like today, we're talking about anything that goes inside of your aquarium. So that's even guppies too. So this is not like specific shrimp related and stuff like this. So it's just one of those. Your Twitch link is up too in the Mafia. Awesome. But yeah, like Jay Oliver, he's got it down. I remember like the first time, I don't know if it was the first time I met him or not. I met him down in Aquashella. I think it was him and his son and his special half lady. I picked on his son. That's kind of what I do. Is I pick on little kids. That's what I do. I'm a big kid. I gotta pick on the little kids. But yeah, I 100% appreciate everything you do for the hobby and stuff like this. And I know you had a certain way, and I know you don't want to go over and let people out. I have actually let people from Minnesota know to contact you on some guppies. Some people were bringing some guppies, but they're having a problem bringing them in. And I leave that up to you because guppies are beautiful, but I don't breed guppies. And yeah. So I've had a few people talk to me about like all my friends go over and say, and Victoria's, I sent her a link last night, but she's not here right now. So I don't know if she's coming in later on or what. I know she said that I didn't get a hold of her. It's just, I like to get this all up and running before I leave the store the day beforehand. So, guys, there's Jay Oliver right there. There's his aquatic on band. Thank you, Lori. So, Jay Oliver, we're giving you a plug right there. There is his guppies and aquatics on band, which you can buy the guppies there. You could talk to him on there like 100%. What time if we can get Oliver? We can get Jay Oliver on here one day if he wants to come on here. Jay Oliver, yeah, if you want to come on here one day, we can come on there one day. You can talk about some stuff on here. Here's his YouTube channel. Thank you. See, Liz, Lori is so on top of this. I love my moderators and stuff. I did hear from JL not here. I messaged him. He said he got his band account hacked. So he had to delete it, and then he had some stuff going on here. yeah. So hopefully he stays back in touch. J. Oliver, 100%. We got you. We got you about this. And then he's got his Facebook one. Listen, she's all on top. So I get a couple seconds. She's all on top of that right there. But yeah, this is gonna be an episode about everything that goes in your aquarium, whether it's the water parameters, whether it's plants, but it's a question and answer thing. I have a giant Rolodex in my head, and if you guys don't access my Rolodex and stuff, it just stays in there. And I do not like wearing glasses for this live, like 100%. But I'll tell you this: if I take them out, I'm not gonna be able to see. Sup, Griswold? So, yeah, get a little kind of fat. I have to go back in my diet here too. All right, so let's start with like water. Okay, the first. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back to first. You have your aquarium. So you pick out the proper aquarium size. That's the biggest thing. Is you have to figure out what you're gonna do. Would you go buy a 400-gallon aquarium for shrimp? I don't know, probably not, but some people do. Flip Aquatics did. But here's the thing. He forgot that he had overflow, and a lot of the shrimp went over the waterfall and down into a sump. So find the proper size. And then what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what we want to do with our thing. Hold on a second. I hear someone coming in. 1 second. Morning. Thank you. This is UPS. Ooh, no, it's FedEx. Let me see who it is. Oh, we got a package too. We got a package, guys. Now, new local Austin. I know my aunt went over and literally said at Christmas time she hates it when I'm not prepared on my live. I have to go get stuff, but I can't help when packages come. But anyways, back to what we're saying. Let's go to the substrate. All right, so then we got to figure out what we're going to do in our aquarium. Do you want to do just straight neocaradinas or you want to do caradinas? That kind of makes a determination of what type of soil and stuff. Everybody goes over and says, well, caradinas are harder to have. Not really. It's whether or not you have access to RODI water. So RODI water is reverse osmosis deionized water. Okay, a lot of people use RO water, which has some minerals, or they use distilled water. I don't care. It's all about not having a lot of KH in there. Thanks. Yeah. See how this goes? You see this? You see, oops. Oops, there it is. You see what I got to put up with? I look very disgusting with glasses. Gotta love it. Yeah, so if you have access, so let's just here's my concept with tap water or RO water. Okay. When I say tap water is when you open up your faucet. I don't care if you have a well or anything else. If I say tap water, you open up your faucet. Now, tap water from the city does have chlorine or chloramine in it. Okay. Well water does not have chlorine or chloramine in there, but it has other materials in there. So when we say RO water or RODI water, we want everything taken out, whether it's the sediment, whether it's calcium carbonate, whether it's the silicates in there, we want that taken out. Okay. So when you are reliant on cities for water, so the cities can put anything they want in their water. They can put chlorine in there. They can put chloramine in there. They can put phosphate in there. They can put anything they want in there. Okay. The rule of thumb from what I heard from the city of Plymouth here is as long as they do not do it, as long as they don't dose something 365 days in a row, that they can go over and do it and they don't have to 100% listed on their water treatment center. So that's the problem we had in Plymouth here, is that they were dosing chloramine versus chlorine. Chloramine is a cheaper product to utilize versus chlorine. But the problem you have with chloramine is chloramine actually binds with ammonia and can actually bypass RODI systems unless you have a specific filter that takes out the chloramine. When we found that out, we let Bulk Reef know that, hey, this is what we found out. So now all their RODI units does have a special filter in there that takes out chloramine. Now, the chloramine filter is $3 more than what the normal chlorine filter is. So spend the extra $3 if you don't know if there's chloramine water in there, or chloramine put in there. It works so much better. Now, a chlorine filter for an RO system does last for 30,000 gallons. A chloramine filter only has a tendency to last for 3,000 gallons. But here's the thing. All in doubt, just put it in there, okay? You're spending like $16. Just freaking put it in there. So I like to use all my water as RODI water. The reason behind it is like I want to put back in the water what was taken out. Everybody says, well, that's kind of like stupid that you take stuff out to put stuff back in. I'm taking out everything else that the city put in that I just don't want in there. Okay. So, all right. So now we're using where I'm just going to base it on RODI water. So, once we got that RODI water, then of course we're going to have minerals and stuff like this. So that's where depicted on what we're doing for livestock. Do you want a soft water tank or a hard water tank? All right. So, all right. I'm going to totally, Lord, we got spam coming in. Spam! We got spam! Spam! So I got to freaking, can we flag that one? Oops, there it goes. Yeah, we'll delete that chat. We'll kind of kick him out and everything. That's what happens when you get spam and stuff like this. All right. So, anyways, back on track. So people are saying like carradinas are harder than neocarradinas. Well, neocarradinas are easier because you can open up your faucet and you can, in theory, let them live in there. Carradinas, you need access to RODI water with a buffering substrate with a little bit of GH. That's it. That's the only difference that there is on there. Period. I honestly think that, hey, good morning, Big Tank King. I know my dad was just joking and stuff. I know you're just joking. Like, don't take it so serious. Why so serious? Hey, Big Tank King. So the carradina shrimp are not necessarily harder. It's what it is it's you need a different product out there to make them live. So this is my concept. Carradinas, I think, are actually easier than neocarradinas due to the fact of a lot of the carradinas, all the carradinas, you can't have no cage. So it's an extra chemical that you don't put in the water. So you have to keep track of that. Also, I want to get past, good morning, Glitch. I want to get past the concept of, imports and homebred. Yes, homebred is 100% better, but I'm going to be honest with you. Stores cannot keep up with the demand of shrimp. So imports have to happen. So a lot of these diseases that you see can be treated. And a lot of times, like, people don't understand, that the stuff is being treated. Rust disease. I haven't seen rust disease since 2017. So I never had to deal with that one. Just down at Pecan Grove at my mom's for a visit. All right. And then you have, the dreaded green fungus. There is products out there. It's called Temacare. Temacare is a German-based product. Now, the green fungus, the albosis, is a disease that burrows into their bodies. Okay. Everybody says salt dip. Nope, that doesn't work. Blackout. Nope, that doesn't work. Hydrogen peroxide. Nope, that doesn't work. Like, I'm letting you know. Like, I've dealt with this before. Temacare is a preventive measure. It's a food. They have to ingest it. Okay, they have to eat this little medicated food to start killing that disease, that bacteria that's in there. So what will happen? It'll start turning brown and it'll fall off. Is it 100% cure? No, it's not 100% cure on it. But I'll tell you this right now: if you see one green fungus, yank him out, put him in quarantine, start treating. So, like, people that do bring in imports, because I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I can't keep up with the PFRs. I just can't. And they say, we'll buy from local sources. Well, I'm gonna be honest, the local source comes to me and wants to sell it for what I sell it to them for. Well, that means if I bought them at that price, I'm gonna have to double the price up just so I can make money at my store, because I have overhead on this. So I treat with Temacare. So Temacare on all my neocarradinas. Now, what's good about the carradinas is that carradinas are all tank raised. Now, some people have gone over and said, why do we want to do tank raised on the carradinas? Because let's be honest with you. Breeders overseas and stuff are not going to go over and take a $9 shrimp and throw it in a vat outside. So a lot of these diseases that we see on the neocarradinas, the carradinas do not have. Now, there is some diseases that is out there, and a lot of them are treatable with salt dips on there. So the biggest thing I hear is like, oh my God, we get these little screw dolls coming out of the head and stuff. Yes, that can happen, and you can salt dip and take care of it. You salt dip it, and then when it molts, you take out the molts out of the tank and stuff, because that's they lay the eggs right behind the gill plate, and then you take that out and it doesn't pass over. But it's an easy cure. everybody is so negative on if anybody brings in imports and stuff. Well, guess what? It's we can't keep up with the supply. Yes, there's home breeders out there, and yes, you can get from home breeders and stuff. But if you want the wide variety of product out there, we have to bring some stuff in. So all right, so that's the whole concept with shrimp and everything else. All right, so once we picked out the size of tank that we're going to have, now it's all about the substrate. So then I'm just like looking at everybody's right here. Everybody's falling in love with each other. Yes. Big Tank Hate comes back and says, "Oh, double heart, boom, boom, boom." Yes, Jay Oliver, 100%. It's one of those. It's a fact of life. For every disease that's out there, we have a treatment for it. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you have a disease, please, contact someone that knows about this stuff. Don't go by a random. If internet is good for two things. It's got a lot of information you can learn from, and the bad thing is guess what? It's got a lot of information out there. So the thing is like if you come to me and you say, hey, I got this right here, I'm going to tell you, hey, there's this way that we can treat right here. I see a lot of people say you got to salt dip them on certain things. Well, that doesn't fix the fact of green fungus. It just doesn't. So it's just one of those things where it's just like talk to breeders that know kind of what they're doing and have dealt with this stuff versus like the people that just like are so anti imports. I mean, everything's imported here. Let's be honest here. If I didn't bring in some imports, guess what? People wouldn't get the boas. People wouldn't get the Galaxy fish bowls and stuff. I mean, Vin does a really great job on the Caradinas, and I love Vin's line. Do I bring other people's lines in? 100%. If I can find local breeders for my product, 100%, I bring that in too. I have back in my store, I got a bunch of tanks back there that are breeding and stuff. But let's be honest. When they showed a little shrimp head, guess what? It takes a while for them to get bigger before I can sell. So once we go over, hi Joe, best aquatic life store in Minnesota. Thank you very much. So once we have the tank, now we're going to decide what we want to do in there for life. So let's say we want to have a planet tank, or it just all depends. Cichlid tank, you're not going to do as like you would on a planet tank. All right. So let's say we go over and say, yes, we want to have some plants. Okay. Well, do we want to have a lot of stem plants? Do we want to have a lot of rhizome plants? And I know everybody's like, oh my God, Joe, you're overwhelming me. It's a simple thing. Do you want an easy tank, or do you want a moderate tank, or you want a little bit tank that needs a lot more work to it? Okay. So if you want just an easy tank and you just want like rhizome plants, Java Fern, Anubias, Boost, we can put sand in there. We can put Eco Complete in there 100%. It's 100% inert. Don't worry about that. You take the little rhizomes and tuck it in the cracks and it works good. But for this format, we're going to say like we want something that has active soil. So active soil is Shrimp King, is Brightwell, is Contra Soil, is SL Aqua, which is ADA, which is Platinum Soil, which is, there's a lot of different active soil out there, the Fluval brand too. Science Scale, how you doing? So the thing is let's say we want to have a moderate planted tank. All right, so we decide, okay, we're going to have this moderate planted tank, so we're going to get some active soil. So I like to have about 1 inch in my tank. That's kind of what I aquarium, vessel, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to be politically correct with aquariums. You put that in there. Okay, so now we got the layer of soil in there. And now we got to determine, okay, what are we going to do for livestock? Are we going to do, like, do you want to do shrimp? If you're going to do shrimp, it's whether or not you're going to do Caradina or New York Caradina. It just comes down to that. Let's say we want to do Caradina. Okay, that's just, let's make this easy. Let's say we're going to do Neocaradinas, because this is where a lot of people say you can't use active substrate for Neocaradinas. So I'm going to kind of break that myth here. Okay, let's say we're going to do Neocaradinas. So Neocaradinas, we can do any type of rock that we want in there. We can do the Cirro stone that releases KH in the water, which is calcium carbonate. We can do Aqua stone, which is Cirro stone. We can do lava rock. We can do pagoda rock. We can do rainbow rock. We can do all this different type of rock, because some rocks do release calcium carbonate in the water. Usually you can tell it's like a little white. If not, you can go to Home Depot in the paint section, and they have a little bit of this is sulfuric acid, I think it is, and you put a drop on your rock. If it fizzles, that's calcium carbonate. If it doesn't fizzle, you're completely fine. But anyways, all right, so let me get this one quick. All right, for planarians, is it best to treat periodically or not? So the thing is if you see the little worms on the side of your glass that have an arrow-shaped head, that's planaria. You can treat periodically if you want to, 100% if you want to. It's just going to kill any extra hydra or planarian stuff in there. I'm not worried about it. All right, so you go over and you put your soil in your active soil in your aquarium. Okay, then let's go over and let's put our rocks, put our hardscapes in there, rocks and wood. Now, if you don't like a lot of tannins, you're not going to put like Mopani wood in there. But guess what? I like tannins. Put your rock in there, put your wood in there, do a nice little aquascape if you want to do an aquascape. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to, cool, awesome. 2 thumbs up. Now, what I tend to do is I like to put about an inch of RO water in there, RO or RODI water. Okay, for this format, we are going to base it on RO water. So let's put a little bit of RO water in there, about an inch past the substrate. Now, I use a product called Startup by Protobio. So Startup has a bacteria in there, and also has a binding component in there for ammonia, right? So they have 2 bacteria. It says bacteria soil and Nutrisoil, I do believe is the proper names. You crack open the vials and you dump them in your aquarium, okay? And I let it sit for a half hour, let the bacteria work its way around the soil. While we're waiting there for that half hour, we can do our aquascape. We can put our plants in there and stuff. Just remember, tall plants in the back, moderate plants in the middle, small plants in the front. Let's leave a nice little open spot so everything can conjugate there. And then if they want to do some, they can go back in the back heavy area where nobody can see the stuff. Let's be honest here. Some fish don't like being watched doing their things. All right. So we got that. We waited a half hour. Now, this is a thing that nobody ever listens to. When you have active soil, everybody says, I just dumped my water in there. Oh, it's all cloudy. Take the bag that it came in. Lay the bag down on the substrate. Guess what? Dump the water on the substrate. By doing that, it prevents the big splash up, the big cloud, and everything else like that. All right? Fill up your tank. Okay? Don't plug your filtration system in yet. Okay, let everything settle because it's going to make a little bit of mess. Okay, let everything kind of settle. Let it sit for like an hour, hour and a half. Let everything settle. Then plug your filtration system in. Okay, and then we have this product. The Startup has these separate vials. It's called Startup. So we have one that starts the cycle, and then we have one that binds with the ammonia. It doesn't take it out of your aquarium. It binds with it. So it kind of clings to it, and it kind of sits there till you do your water changes. This is why they advertise that you can use this product, and then you can put a fish in there within 6 hours because it binds with it. Have I used it when it has the whole entire 6 hours? 100%. And I've had shrimp survival right away. Okay, so that's that. All right, now we have to remineralize because we used RO water. So we're going to use a product that has GH and KH. So GH is just for Caridina. KH is for Neocaridina's, okay? And also some plants like soft water, some plants like hard water. Because you have a water softener at home, it makes it soft water for you to drink and everything, but not per se soft water for the aquariums. That's a whole entire different spaces here, right? So we're going to add some GHKH. I use a TDS meter. That's what I use. If you want to use a GHKH test kit, 100%, cool. I try and teach people the TDS because I'm going to be honest, Americans are lazy, okay? And it's a little TDS pan, total dissolved solids. It's super simple. Let me see this one. Okay, I'm back, son. Who is Army? Just called, been in Poland for a year and just got back to see my base. Oh, awesome. Glitch. Hey, Papa Shrimp. How you doing? Awesome. All right. Let's go back into it. So everybody thinks because I put an active soil in there, it's going to always keep my pH down in the mid-6s. And I can't put Neocardinas in there because it's in the mid-6s. That's incorrect. You can put them in there. So what we're worried about is the GH and the KH, not per se a lot of the pH. So I try and break this down pretty simple for people. Okay, if we have your active substrate right here, I got to turn my hands so people can see active substrate. And then we have, this is right here is your GHKH. Your substrate wants to lower the pH all the time. For it not to lower the pH, we add KH to it. So if you add KH to your water column, the KH wants to keep the pH up. So they fight back and forth, and they fight back and forth, and they fight back and forth. But what happens is the cage is always going to win. Always. So what's going to happen is it's going to stop the buffering components to lower the pH, and it's going to just be basically like neutral soil that has nutrients in there for the plants. And then the cage is going to always keep it right there. So the more cage that you put in your aquarium, the higher the pH it's going to be in there. So if you put tons of cage in there, you're going to be up in the 8s. And some plants don't like that. Some plants are like, oh, I can get away with that. But some plants just don't like that. So what I like to keep my tanks at is a TDS of 220 to 300 for my neocaradinas. I do that for my fish tanks as well. That is a 6 to 8 on the GH and a 4 to 6 on the KH level. So you get these products, right? Some of the products says on there, like Brightwell says 1 pump per. I do believe. Don't quote me on this one. 1 pump per gallon. Then it says as desired. So they don't know what we desire on there. So I always base it off your actual test on there. So I go over, we're using the TDS meter. I put the TDS meter, I want to bring it to 220 to 300, right? And I start doing pump, pump. I shake it up really well. Pump, 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 pump. Mix it all around until my TDS is between the 220 and 300. Perfect. Awesome. Boom. Then we add the bacteria in there. You got to put bacteria in your tank to get the tank cycling. So the thing is back in the day, people used to put guppies in there and try and get the cycle going that way and stuff because that's the ammonia source on there. But because we use the startup vials, we already have that ammonia source in there. Okay. And you have the bacteria by that one. So if you don't use the startup with that bacteria in there, usually what you end up doing is you buy a different source of bacteria and you put that in there. But because we use the protobio, we already added that in there. Okay. Now it's about patience. Let your aquarium sit. Okay, nobody ever wants to do this. You have to go through a nitrate cycle. So a nitrate cycle is where we're converting nitrite with an I, basically go over to ammonia, and then ammonia gets eaten up and everything else by the bacteria and stuff. Then it goes to nitrate with an A, and then the nitrate gets super high. And then what happens is as time goes by, plants and everything else, the plants eat the nitrate, it goes down to 0. So it kind of looks like this. We got to use the right hand. Ammonia, nitrite. Trite. Okay, it's up here. What happens is as the tank is cycling, this happens. The ammonia goes up, nitrite goes down. Right? Now, as the nitrite is high, then you have this other brand over here, the nitrate. So what happens to this? Then this happens. Right? And then as time goes by, plants and stuff start using this. So a good level to have for this is nitrite with an I, 0. Okay. Usually when the usually when the ammonia is 0.25 parts per million or less, your nitrate over here is usually 10 to 15 parts per million over here. Okay. Oops, I'm all backwards on this camera thing here. Right. So usually when it's at 0.25, what you can do is you can do a small water change to take that old bacteria out and get the old water out, put a fresh one in there. And that usually stabilizes right there. I always tell people at 0.25, you're usually pretty good to put livestock in there. But it takes about 3 to 4 weeks. Can you seed the filter with the tank with a seeded filter? 100% you can. But at this common sense, we're not going to talk about that. Okay. I love my coffee. But so, okay, after that all happens, our tank is all up, aquascaped up. Gotta love it. The only thing you should be really doing during this cycle is just topping it off with RO water. So a lot of people don't realize, like, when water evaporates out of the tank, the minerals that are in the aquarium still stay in the aquarium. So a lot of people are like, oh, I just get more tap water. Put more tap water in there. And you're just making it harder and harder and harder because you're adding more and more minerals in there. And all of a sudden you're like, why is my tank 8.2? It's supposed to be 7.0. Why is it 8.2? Because you're not topping it off with RO or distilled water. So you should always have that. And if it's a matter of like, I can't get it, I don't have an RO system, we have a Cub Foods here. Go to Cub Foods. They have a giant dispensing machine. Go buy some distilled water. It has some minerals, but it doesn't have a lot of minerals in there. I'd rather have you use that than nothing at all. And then top it off with that. Now it's time for your livestock. So we got it planted. We put the plants in there. We got it all cycled. Now it's about putting your livestock in there. I'm one of those types of people where I don't like to overburden the tank at first. Okay. So you got your tank cycled, there's bacteria in there, but the bacteria is only used to so much ammonia source that's in there. So if you go over and get like, oh, I want to put 500 shrimp in there, and you put them in there, your tank is going to have a lot of issues. It's going to get cloudy because you're going to have a bacteria bloom because it's too much source for it, right? So I have a tendency to go over and put 10 shrimp in there. I put 10 shrimp in there. I let the bacteria get used to everything. Watch the shrimp, make sure they do proper molts. And then I'm like, okay, they work well. It's like 10 days. Awesome. Then I'll add some more to it. And then I'll add more after that to a point where until I'm happy with the colony that I started. Now, I like to start colonies between a 2.5 and a 15 gallon, between 10 and 15. That's what I like to start my colonies at. Anything bigger, I base it by that. Because here's my concept. If you have a 40-gallon aquarium and you put 10 shrimp in there, it's like you and I going to a fair, and you go in one entrance and I go in the other entrance. We're never going to find each other. Let's be honest. I mean, the shrimp are this big and you got an aquarium this big. Sooner or later, they might find each other, but it's a lot easier to start calling with more numbers based on your size of aquarium. That's what I think. And I'm sure Papa Shrimp would agree too. So it's a matter of just knowing what you want in your livestock and having patience. A lot of end consumers don't have patience. That's the number one thing you have to have in this hobby is patience. I started way back when, and I was impatient in a couple tanks, but guess what? I'm 100% patient. See, here's Papa Shrimp. Definitely. He even agrees with me too. Everybody says I have a 2.5 gallon aquarium. I can't have a lot of shrimp. Well, I've had 300 shrimp in a 2.5. Let's be honest. Like if they're breeding, they're still happy with it. You can trick them out. Here's little tricks. If you have a little 4-gallon aquarium, 2.5, 3 gallon, 4 gallon, whatever, and they kind of stop breeding, that means they're like, oh my God, the tank's too, I don't want to breed no more. Go take some extra moss, throw some extra moss in there. They're going to think the tank is bigger because they're getting off the ground. When they get off the ground, they're going to start breeding more. And that's how I got 300 shrimp in a little 2.5. Yes, the more shrimp you have in there, the more often you have to do water changes because it's more ammonia source that might spike your stuff. A lot of people say, hey, don't do small aquariums. It's harder to go over and regulate it. Well, I don't think so. I think as long as you have proper husbandry in your aquarium, it works all good. You get on a system. So my system is water change every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I do at least a 25% water change on there. I feed my shrimp twice a week with the pellets, and I like to do powder form if there's babies in the aquarium. There's tons of babies in my back aquariums here. So then it comes down to it's like, how do we treat? It's how much food do we give? Well, it's better to underfeed than to overfeed. If you drop a pellet of food in there for a shrimp, and it's not gone in 4 hours, you fed too much. Just scoop it back out. Next time, go with a little bit smaller chunk. Okay. I want to talk also about fish food and stuff. Let's keep fish food for fish and shrimp food for shrimp. Now, here's my concept. There's a lot of different. So I base a lot of talks I do about shrimp, just because that's what but you can replicate shrimp to everything else. Okay. There's a lot of shrimp products out there for food. A lot, 100%. 100%. I agree with that one too. There's companies out there that specialize in shrimp. SL Aqua, Shrimp King. That's two of the major brands. A lot of side brands that's major brands. Okay. Then there's companies that want to get into the hobby. Okay. So the thing we end up doing is like when a company, and I'm trying not to name specific companies and stuff like this. When they want to get in the hobby, what they do is they buy a product and they launch the product for said use, but they just want to get more money. That's the biggest thing, but they might not specialize in it. So they might not know what to look for. So when you go to companies that are shrimp-based products, they specialize in shrimp. They spent the efforts and time and had the scientists work on brands and had it FDA tested and stuff like this. And that's the thing. There's a lot of food products out there that aren't FDA approved. It's just they didn't spend the money to get it FDA approved. So watch out for those. Like soybean hull. It's called snowflake, snow powder, snow blizzard, whatever, snow. But if people don't use organic soybean hull, you could have pesticides getting put in your aquarium. Just like fish food. If you use a fish food, some fish food has copper in there. And the thing is, if you have an invert, that's a death sentence to them. So use fish food for fish, use shrimp food for shrimp. Some fish will eat the shrimp food because it does smell really good and it's good, tasty and stuff. I remember, hey, Corey, I remember there's a product that was called cheeseburger. And the shrimp love getting cheeseburger, but that was like 1 or 2 times. And then all of a sudden they were just done with it. They wouldn't go after it again. So find a product that's good. I use Shrimp King Complete. I use protein. I use mineral. And I use baby. That's pretty much the 3 major foods. And I use SL Aqua Magic Powder. I don't know what it is. That stuff smells like candy to me. So that was like another way of cycling a tank was the SL Aqua way. But I'm going to base it on those 4 foods right there. So Complete is an all-around food. It's got the nettle leaves. It's got the dandelions. It's got grass. It's got spirulina. It's got beta-carotene. It has pretty much everything in there, okay? So I feed that on a regular basis. And once I start noticing a lot of pregnant females in my tank, then I then go over and I start putting protein in there. So protein's another good food source. It's a higher grade of protein for the shrimpies and everything else. And then once they release and they have babies, I start dosing little powder food in there. So babies don't have a tendency to go after the pellet. They like hanging on the glass and the filter and everything. So if you put a little bit of powder in there, it spreads across the top and gradually sinks down, and that's where the babies can get that. So I dose powder then, and then I dose a pellet on there until the babies get big enough they go to the pellet. Mineral. Mineral is a good source where if you're starting to have a little bit of molting issues or you're afraid you might have some molting issues on there, feed mineral in there. First, check your GH and KH. Make sure you have the right GH and KH, and then dose your mineral in there for it. It's a great product out there. Shrimp King knows what they're doing. Generally knows what they're doing on this one. Chris promoted the product. Chris Lukup, the Shrimp King, promoted the product very well to a point where it's a great product out there. Some people say it's expensive. Well, here's the thing. It's coming all the way from Germany. You have freight costs coming in, import costs, and then you got shipping costs coming out there and stuff. Is there other products out there? 100%. But it's not as great of a product out there. Some people have gone over and say, hey, can I just use cucumber, green beans, that type of stuff? If you want to, yeah, go ahead. I like to base food in my shrimp that were made for that specific livestock. That's my biggest thing. It's kind of like when you have fry, okay, fish fry. If you have, we're not talking about frying your fish, dude. I instantly thought that. Let's say you have guppy fry. Okay, Jay Oliver, I'm sure he'll kind of agree with this. If you have guppies release in your aquarium, you have little guppy fry going. They're all flying all over. The parents are over here going, I want to eat this one. I want to eat this one. And they're going up to the top, little moss and everything else, and they're trying to hide, right? You're going to feed them stuff like brine shrimp. You're going to feed them stuff from like fry food, little powder stuff. You're not going to go take a big old flake of food, drop a big old flake of food in there for them. Why? Because it's too big for their mouth, but it's not really made for them. So you got to change what you do per se for what you're trying to do. You know, like right now, there is a shortage of blackworms out there. I don't know if anybody knows this in here, but I get a call at least twice a day saying, do I have blackworms? The blackworms are not splitting at the farms. So when they don't split, they don't recreate. So if they're not recreating, there's a shortage of them. So yes, can you buy blackworms right now at a very high price right now? Especially like in Minnesota, we don't have any. So what I'm feeding is small frozen bloodworms and frozen brine shrimp, and I kind of mix it all together and I put that in there. Boom. Oops. Let me just get here. Boom. With your fertilizer for your plants, should you drip in the water change or just dosing the tank? Okay, with the fertilizer, okay. I'm glad you said that. So let me kind of base this off here, okay? He's talking about fertilizer because we're talking about everything in your aquarium. So let's go back to the fertilizer. Tyler Volk from Liquid Gardens, I have a video on here. We've talked about this. So when you're dosing fertilizer in your aquarium, so a proper way to do a water change when you're dosing fertilizer is at least a 40 to 50% water change, due to the fact of you could be dosing fertilizer in there that isn't 100% getting utilized by all your plants. So if you only do a 25% water change, you still have all this fertilizer in the tank right here. See all this fertilizer, and then you fill back up the tank and you re-fertilize, and then it just starts getting numbers out of whack. So by doing a 40 to 50% water change, in theory, that should be enough water taken out so you have all the extra macros, the CMSB, the phosphate, the potassium. You take a majority of that out so you can do a fresh dosing in there. Now, how I dose it is I follow the instructions. So I use the Liquid Gardens. His is based on 1 pump per 10 gallons. A lot of Aquarium Co-op's Easy Green, 1 pump per 10 gallons. A lot of the products out there, it's always like 1 pump per 10 gallons, or depends on their pump size. Some it's like 1.5 milliliters per 10 gallons. It depends. If you have a lot of anubias and moss and stuff, you can do a light fertilization. If you have a lot of stem plants utilize that whole treatment in there. If you have crypts and swords, they get it from the root tabs. So I don't really drip in the water change. I don't. I personally dump it in. Like in my one show tank, I do a 90% water change on that one. My fish got so used to doing 90% water change, they found a little spot down in the bottom where they all kind of, it's like as soon as that hose comes in, they're like, oh, gotta go. And they go down there and they kind of hang out. So I'm on the Easy Green things. Yep. So Easy Green, Corey McElroy, 1 pump per 10 gallons is what's recommended in that one. I used Easy Green for a while, and then I switched over to my friend Tyler Volks because he's a local guy in Minnesota. I like his product. My show tank likes his product. He has 2 different things. He's got the shrimp tank version, which is basically a quarter of the dose, because sometimes you don't need a lot of fertilization in the shrimp tanks. And then he's got the regular dose out there. I like the fact that he's a local person versus buying a big container and dosing it out and stuff like this. But you know what, 100%, like Easy Green works. I mean, I used to sell it before. I just don't sell it no more. But you find your local one. Now, that brings me back to like carbon. So there's the only way to get carbon into your aquarium is by dosing carbon. Okay. Like carbon's a gas. Okay. If you're buying liquid carbon, it's not carbon. Okay. It's glutamaldehyde. Like you can go on Corey's little container that says liquid carbon, I think it's called, or something like that. Carbon, whatever. If you read the bottom the bottom ingredients, it's glutamaldehyde. It's an anti-algicide. Carbon isn't in a little tablet. That's freaking fertile. That's Alka-Seltzer. You know, Seachem has that product. It's glutamaldehyde. It's an anti-algicide. Why it works really good is because it gets rid of your algae. You know, but if you want to dose CO2 in your aquarium, you have to use a CO2 tank with a regulator that has a diffuser, and you inject it in there. Is what happens. I hear people all the time, yeah, I'm dosing for the CO2. So then the instructions I give is for dosing CO2. But then I find out they're actually dosing glutamaldehyde, which isn't a carbon. It's not a carbon source. Just FYI on that one. I can always like do another topic on this one. Or Tyler we can even talk about it too. Or we can find the link and Tyler talks about it on there. So, but then what I like to do, kind of get off topic a little bit. I always get off topic. That's what I do. But once we go through that, we put their livestock. We take more time to putting in the livestock. Then it's about doing your water changes. I do my water changes with the amount of shrimp I have once every 2 weeks. I mean, if you have an aquarium that has tons and tons of guppies and stuff in there, you might have to do water changes more often than that. That's 100%. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Bam! She's on top of it. Right there. Talking fertilizers. Whoops, I got to change my finger. With Tyler Volk from Liquid Gardens. That is the link right here for it right there. Lori, you're on top, dude. Seriously, she does everything off her phone. Her phone. Give her props on that one. But yeah, 100%. And I'm not trying to bash anybody else's fertilizer and stuff like this. Like, as long as the fertilizer does its job, boom, that's all that matters. Tyler has the DI method, which is the salts where you can directly dose what you want in there for when you want it and stuff. And then he's got the liquid version. They both kind of work and stuff. I do kind of want to cover MVP Lori. Lori is beyond an MVP, man. She is like the freaking office manager of the year. I just saw myself do that. I should have never done that. I'm sorry, guys. But I want to talk about two things. Okay, we have Aquafest coming up. Let me just kind of get the link right here. 1 second here. Preset. I want to talk about two things I'm doing here. Share a screen. I'm going to share a Edge. I'm sharing this one. Boom. All right, guys. I want to talk about this quick. So April 15th and 16th down in Slidell, Louisiana at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a little show called Aquafest. Oops, I should have never done that, guys. Sorry. So this is our second one that's happened. We had it last year and stuff. It's a great show. Sponsored by Coral View. They need to update their site. There's a lot more vendors that are signing up right now. All the information is right there. If you want to go to it's aqua-fest.com. That is the site right there. Eric Lucas. So far, this is the people I talked to. Eric Lucas is going to it. I'm going to it. We have one fish tuber. I'm going to have a big media booth. So all your other fish tubers creators, if you want to go, please contact me. I'm going to make a group chat and stuff, and then we'll be able a little area that we can go sell. We have custom aquariums going there. We have Tim from Pet World. That's the guy that brings all the wood. He's going to go down there. We have a lot of vendors that are going down there. We're working on a advertising company out there that's actually going to go over and look at that. Boom. Let me just kind of shrink this up right there. That is going to go over and do the advertisement for them over there. Now, I know everybody keeps on talking about Aquashella. What's going on with Aquashella? Well, I haven't heard nothing about Aquashella. Is there something happening in Orlando and stuff? If it hasn't been announced, it's not going to happen right now for Orlando. Okay. I don't work for Aquashella. I'm not in the giant circle of Aquashella people. I just have a lot of people that contact me. So right now, nothing is set in stone for Aquashellas. Do I think there's going to be something happening in Orlando in February? No, it's too soon. It's not going to happen. Like, if they made an announcement saying, "Hey, we're doing something in February in Orlando," I don't think there's going to be a lot of major vendors going out there because we haven't planned it out. From what I hear, there is supposed to be something in the mix come May, possibly, but there's nothing set in stone. Now, I know that this Aquafest is set in stone for freshwater and saltwater. So, ideally, this is going to be the first show that's going to be happening that's written in stone. So, I tell people right now, like, do you want to wish and want in one hand, or you want to just book something that's already here set in stone? Last year, there's about 979 people showed up for this event right here. Entrance fees is not that much. I think it's like $10 a day. It's not that much right there. What's going to happen is we're going to try to build this up to a point where we're going to be in a convention center next year in New Orleans, which would be kind of great and everything else. Now, there's a few of us that are staying late, some of the vendors, and we're going to go fishing on Lake Pontchartrain, which is super cool. But this is the first show that I know of. Oh, that's right there, Lori. There we go. There's Facebook right there. A regular one. It's super cool. Like, if you get a chance, anybody out there, Mississippi Hippie, Stephen B 2003, any of you guys, if you guys want Jay Oliver, if y'all want to go down there, I do believe they gave us a 30 by 10 booth. And what I'm doing is, let's say we have 10 vendors there, or 10 creators there. I'll give everybody 3 feet on the tables, and you can sell whatever you want to sell there. And then we'll just do videos for them and stuff. So I wanted to bring that up. I will put the link, boom, in the description for all this right here. The second thing I kind of want to talk about, boom, let me get this one off there, boom, is let me word this correctly. I love working with my friend Tyler, because I was sitting back here, so I want to kind of read what we were texting back and forth. All right. So, all right. So in Minnesota, we had a show from Minnesota Aquarium Society called kind of like Minnesota Exposition, where we basically showcased fish at Augsburg College. Unfortunately, they canceled. So I took it upon myself. Well, okay, here's the story. I have a lot of kids coming to my store, and a lot of kids brought up how Minnesota is not doing in-person meetings anymore. They're all just doing stuff virtually and stuff. And then they cancel the show. I've been talking about doing something for a while, to a point where that kind of like, When I had someone go up to me that I knew when he was 13 and now he's 17, saying that he misses the stuff, it kind of hits my heart. So I'm going to kind of read. I'm going to type this up. I'm going to post this one right here. We are happy. Oh, shoot. We are happy to announce that Joe's Shrimp Shack, Minnesota Planted Tank Aquatics, Minnesota Shrimp Keepers and Breeders, and Minnesota Fish Keepers has teamed up for our first ever local event. We're looking toward a spring 2023 date. The date has not yet has been set. However, we are focusing on the month of May, just in time for a long-awaited beautiful spring weather. Event highlights: barbecue with potluck style for sides, meet our local hobbyists, sellers tables, aquascaping activities, a plant swap, raffle donations from our sponsors. It's going to be a for us, by us. The local groups of Minnesota unite for the special event. This is a one that you don't want to miss out. Stay tuned for more updates. So I want to have this in. Hey, Fish Dreams, how you doing? I wanted to go over and do something. Now, I want to plan for May. Now, if Aquashella does a date, let's say they announce very quickly, we're doing it. I'm just saying, I'm just taking a guess. If they go over and say, hey, we're going to do a show in May down in Texas, we're going to base it the beginning of the month, then I'm going to basically plan this event at the end of the month. If they say at the end of the month, I'm going to base this one in the middle of the month. Now, the problem we end up having is I just don't know weather. I'm going to go get some tents, so vendors can go in the tents and everything else. If this happens where it goes really good for the following year, yeah, we can go get an event center 100%. I'm for it. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of base it as we're doing it at my store. Then I'll get a bunch of party tents out there. We got tables, we got chairs. I'm going to get a hold of Ice Cream Dreams with ice cream machine. I'm going to do a barbecue. Everybody knows I got a barbecue. And we're going to do an event here. Now, if there's anybody that is here that would like to partake in it, cool, awesome. Come up to Minnesota and stuff. You're like, boom, get on up here. I was hoping that Victoria was going to be here because I'm sure this event she's going to want to go to and stuff. But it's just one of those things where I want to do something for the local people around here. Minnesota, it's one of those, like, we have a lot of winter and it gets cold to a point where our cold lasts for months and months and months. So by having a local club cancel in-person meets, it kind of has affected a lot of people, and they've been kind of like talking to me and stuff. Monster Fish Scale, 100%. If you want to come up here, I know you said it's too far for you, but guess what? Come to Minnesota. Come see the store. I'm going to try and reach out to some other people. Right now, all these groups, they're Facebook groups. I mean, but if you kind of look at there's probably, if you take there's probably 20,000 viewers between all those groups and stuff. Is it going to be the next Aqua Show? No, it's not. It's going to be, it's a Minnesota group get together. And the thing is it could be something really big. It could be something small. I don't know. But I know is I want to do this. I want to have more people come here. You can be freshwater. You can be saltwater. You can be tarantulas. You can be reptiles. You can just do plants. I really don't care. Anything that goes into an aquarium, boom, get on in here. Let's have a barbecue. Chris Luca came to our last one when we did it 4 years ago, and we did it at a person's house. Chris Luca came out there, and he had fun. Now, I've had people ask me, well, why, you're doing it at your store to base it for you. I chose my store because I'm kind of spearheading this, so I can store everything here versus me going to someone's house and storing it. Another concept I had is, like, if 400 people show up, do you want 400 people going through your house to go to the bathroom? Nobody really wants that. So I actually have a facility for this, and if it goes really well, boom, we can put it in the convention and stuff. 100%. But yeah, I want to see what's in here now. I've been kind of like staring at this box. It is Pokemon related because it came from the Pokemon customer service Pokemon. It's for Ohio. I want to see what this is. That's kind of what I want to do while this is on camera. It's like Christmas time for me. It's kind of like, feels like one item in there. Oh, I know what this is. All right. So everybody knows I kind of collect Pokemon crap, right? It came. It came. All right, the new Pokemon ball came. It's called Love Ball. It's for Valentine's Day. Big old heart on there. See the one? It's called Love Ball. Love Ball. It's kind of cool. It lights up. Put a light underneath there. I know it's kind of stupid, guys, but guess what? It's my stupidity. I like this. I got to inventory it. So I'm going to put it over there. I inventory to put it up in my system. That means I have every single ball that's out there right now. I am the man for Pokemon right here. But guys, I'm just about out of time right here. Lori's firing up the links to everything. If you haven't shared this, please share it. If you haven't given a thumbs up, please give a thumbs up there. I do offer memberships here. I greatly appreciate every member that's a part of it. It helps me, do stuff on there. I know my thumbnails suck. Victoria was doing really good thumbnails. It's just when I do my thumbnails, I do it off my phone. So I'm trying to get better on this. I swear to gosh, I'm trying to get better. So FYI, I am leaving this Sunday. I am going out to the New Jersey, Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn to go visit fish stores out there. I am going to probably do some random sporadic pop-ups on my live. Stay tuned for it. I leave Sunday and I come back on Saturday. My store will be open. I will have an employee here for this. So I know Monday, Tuesday, I'm going out to Jersey, and I know the Aquarium Care Center is out there. I'm hitting. I'll tell you right now. I am hitting. Let me just see if I can do this. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. One second, let me show you. Right here. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. All right. This is the places I'm going to be visiting. Just to let you know. So, if you're in the Long Island area, this is where I'm going to be visiting. Queens, Brooklyn, New Jersey. So New Jersey, I'm going to be basing it on Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to hit this. So I can kind of break it up half and half. So seven stores a day is basically what I'm going to. So I'm going to go visit them. I've been talking to all the owners and stuff. All the different color coded by different things that represent, like so far, like Aquarium Care Center is a great aquascaping store, and then you got Modern Aquarium is great aquascaping stores. I have to do more research in all these, but I will be visiting all these stores. So if you're out in the New York area and you want to stop and say hi, contact your local fish store and tell your local fish store that you want Joe Shrimp Shack, or they know me as Joe from JBJ because I'm going out there for JBJ. And these are the stores I'm going to be visiting. So boom, that's what I'm going to end up doing. So I will be doing lives from random stores when I go out there. I'll be traveling more once a month. I think I told you guys this at the beginning of the year, if not the end of last year, is that I'm going to be visiting more stores once a month. We go on for roughly about a week to go visit stores. God, this makes me so fat. Hi. I'm going to visit more stores and kind of talk about how to be successful. So by talking about being successful, I'm going to be talking about, the products, so JBJ is sending me out there. So I'm going to stores trying to sell JBJ products to the stores, which is also Dennerley and Shrimp King brand. So if you know that your store, you want to get the products at your store, the Shrimp King brand, the Dennerley brand, or the JBJ brand, please contact your stores to contact me, and I can make sure the products get in their hands. I can also contact local wholesalers or distributors and get the products there too. Now, Glitch, I have contacted 2 stores up in Canada, and they carry the products. Now, whether or not they ship out of there, so Canada's a completely different story. It's like they're different territories, have different areas and shipping and back and forth. But I know we have it up there and we're trying to get bigger up there. So we have a hey, or is it a hey? Remember, if you're on Facebook, guys, I don't recognize who you are because it says Facebook user. You have to say your names. I know my dad was on here saying that I looked ugly with glasses on. I know he was just joking with me. But it's so funny. He sends me pictures. Oh wait, I gotta show you this, guys. Let me show you some more pictures. I showed you last week, so I'm gonna go through all the pictures here. 1 second here. I gotta find it on my phone here. Your laugh. There it is. All right. So first, my stepmom brings me this picture here. And then she brings me this picture here. Right? So then my dad found 2 more. Shut up. Oops. Look at that. Yes, that's Glamour Shots. Okay, Glamour Shots was popular back in the day. Okay, I kind of aged myself. I had hair. Hey, what's up, Will Harris? Will Harris will also be at Aquafest, right? Will. Oh, Alex Kendrick. Oh, everything. Will Harris saying, hey. So here, Will, do me a favor. I can't remember. Do you have an active site for your product? Put your product right there. I'll feature it really quick. I'll put the link up for everybody. Will Harris has a company called Quantum and everything. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Quantum USA. So he's got a product called Quantum USA. It's from Australia. It's a great product. It deals with a lot of the saltwater products out there. It's going to be the salts. It's going to be everything you need on the saltwater side. There it is. Like, boom! There it is. And he's going to be down in Aquafest too. So he was actually like Jess from the Aquatic Morning Show. She interviewed him and everything else. Will's a great, funny person and everything. He's going down there too. He's going to have some great news that I am not allowed to say because I get sworn. We pinky swear all the time not to say stuff, and I don't break my promises and stuff. But he's got some great news. I'll do an interview with him down there too. If anybody from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, if you're an influencer, if you want to go down there, please message me. I'll add you to a group chat. I can provide a booth, and there's some food down there. I know like Friday we do a catfish and jambalaya and stuff. And then on Saturday, they're thinking about doing a crayfish boil down there. Hey, good morning, Todd. But yeah, there is this website right there. If anybody's looking on the saltwater side, get the products. I know he was talking about possibly getting some freshwater products as well. I don't know if he's going to have any of that anytime soon, but of course we will find out and we will know about this. So, but he's going to have a lot of great news out there. So see how we do this. If you come on there, and I know people mid-year, there it is, mid-year. Did you hear that? Look at that. And then you got Lori. Bam! This is like off the, like, she didn't even know about this. I didn't even know about this either. And then she's right there. I love Lori. It's just one of those things. She does such a great job moderating. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what I'd do without Lori and stuff. Lori is on, she moderates so many pages. And she does everything. I'm like, for me to be like her thing, I would have to have a big phone like this big. My phone, if I was Lori, would be like this. And be like, boop, 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 boop. There it is. But she gets it all on there. So 100%, I appreciate you. Thank you, Lori, for that one. Will's going to be there for Quantum. I don't run Aquafest. I don't have any partake with it. I just kind of help them because I want this to be a successful show. It's another show, any show. I want it to be successful. There's more than just Aqua Shell out there. We have a lot of different shows out there to a point where it's like we might as well make them all successful. So if any of you media influencers want to go over and partake in this, please get a hold of me. I will put you on there. We already have another person out there. I know Mississippi Hippie came out there. Steve B 2003 came out there. Jess from the Aquatic Morning Show came out there. Brooklyn Bell came out there. I've been talking to Science Scale Aquatics to come out there. She's got to figure out, her and her husband have to figure out finances if they can come out there and stuff. I really want to have a really nice show. We are staying, just FYI to everybody here, if you're going to go out there and book out there, we're staying at the Holiday Inn in Slidell. When I went out there last year, I'm going to be honest, like I was like, ooh, there's a strip mall here, there's this. They got affected by the hurricanes. Where I was at, there was nothing around. There was a Wendy's and a Taco Bell, but this was the first show during the pandemic and stuff. So everything was closed, or everything was basically drive-through only. So it kind of sucked. But they had a lot of good food out there. It was a really good show. A lot of cool people out there. I loved it. Aquarium guy, how you doing? But yeah, 100% guys. If you want to go out there, please get a hold of me. I've been kind of getting a hold of some other influencers and stuff. Please like and share. Give the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate this, guys. But my time is up. I will be doing some more visits in between there, so stay tuned. What show is this? The show is called Aquafest, which is right. Let me just kind of go up right here. Gotta find it here. This show. So it's Aquafest down in Louisiana, Slidell, Louisiana, April 15th and 16th, 2023, which is this year. Awesome. But with all that, guys, I really hope you guys have a shrimptastic day. Next week, I'll be leaving Sunday to go out to the Jersey area. So I'll be popping up some random videos, some random lives when I'm roughly at shows. So I'm sorry, any other influencers, if I kind of overstep your toes and stuff, but it's certain shows or certain stores I want to give like special little thanks to and stuff. So guys, I love you all. Have a shrimptastic day. I will catch you next time. All right, guys. Peace.